everybody, and welcome to this week's featured teacher. We are absolutely overwhelmed and thrilled to be joined with not one but two this week. We've got the fabulous Kieran Moore, who just disappeared, and the gorgeous Charlie Brownlee, who stays in shot like a professional. So welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, lovely to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
You're very
Our
welcome.
pleasure.
Thank you for taking time out of your really busy schedule. We know you're doing an absolute load of stuff, and we're going to get into that a little bit and find out what it is you're doing and what it is you're not doing. And as always, folks, don't forget at the end of the show, these guys have got a fun fact each. So you're going to have a little time to think about it. We'll throw the fun facts up in between after part one. And then you can have a think about it and then have a few guesses and we'll see who wins. As usual, the prize is absolutely nothing. So, you know, apart from the absolute joy of knowing that you were right. That's what matters. So, let's get things going. Jules, far away.
All right, so we've had a little look at your video on Dance in Your Pants, seeing your beginners video. So any beginners out there, go on over and have a little look. That's the first of the kind of full lessons over there. So it's a really, really good one. But you guys have been doing lessons outside of that as well, haven't you? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've kind of created our own platform that people can go and subscribe to, that's got all of our classes on, from Ceroc to Silk to Solo, and it's on a platform called Patreon. So where people can subscribe on a monthly basis, and we're teaching up to, what are we doing, about 5 classes a week?
Yeah, I think we're teaching more now. We're not dancing than we were before.
Yeah.
So, but it's good because it keeps our creativity, making sure that we're still like building new content. I think it's going to be quite scary for some teachers that have maybe not taught in a while to all of a sudden go back. And actually, this has been really great for us to make sure that we're still keeping on top of our game too, and giving people what they want. So we ask them on this platform, we've had the beauty to say, what do you want next? Do you want the next Ceroc class to be footwork related or dips and drops, as well as a lot of the solo content? So it's been really good to make sure that we're still teaching as much, or if not more, than we were.
Oh, cool.
That's really cool. So it sounds like it's quite varied in its content as well.
Yeah, we've tried to make it. I think the solo one was our biggest challenge because I mean, I've done a couple of solo classes with Danny, mostly around Silk, a couple of weekenders, Danny Moore, but you've never really done solo leader stuff.
No.
So it's been that's been a real challenge for us to kind of break down content and figure out what we do and try and put that in the format of a class. But it has been really popular since we've released that, because there's so many people at home on their own. Yeah. It's been really good, and it's like $5 a month. So, you know, we tried to keep the price like as low as possible so that those on their own can still dance and practice stuff.
That's really good. Yeah, because a lot of people are on their own, so it's really nice that you're doing that.
Yeah, that's the difficulty this time, isn't it? You know, people that are on their own, they can't learn to dance.
Couples routines, yeah. We
put that together, but it's been hard to put that together.
Yeah, it's getting that nice balance, because as you say, we get ourselves, when we did some art little classes, is we get like, oh, what about some solo stuff and some couple stuff? And the couple stuff's quite easy for us, but the solo stuff, we're finding the trick is either Jules will do something specifically because it's obviously as the teacher, or we send them to the DIYP, where, as we've said thousands of times now, more and more videos are going on week by week, and it's great to see so many teachers chipping in. So it's a resource to be absolutely used and abused, and of course take up the Patreon and everything like that. That's just so cool.
What's yours? Is it I think yours is patreon.com/Kieran and Charlie, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you can go onto like the internet and search for it, or Patreon have an app as well, and the app's really good. And it works a bit like social media in that if you're a subscriber, you can like and comment and watch the video. So it works a bit like social media. It's a really cool platform, really good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit, there's some other things you've been doing as well. So Kieran, you've been doing debrief and snacks.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that name.
I get these ideas in my head. I just want to run with them. So I had this idea about creating a podcast, because podcasts they're quite a popular thing nowadays, aren't they? Like my mom loves listening to podcasts. She does it. She's at home doing the ironing. She'll have a podcast on in the background. And I said to Charlie, I said to you one day, didn't I? I said, I want to create a podcast. And it was just how to kind of do it. And anyway, Charlie's working full time, so it's kind of difficult to do it with Charlie. So I phoned Kane up from Bristol, and we went along with it. So every week now we discuss like a different dance topic, and we get a guest interview on, and we speak to them about the topic we're talking about, and then we release it once a week, and it's just free for people to listen to. And we're getting we've had over really popular 500 downloads of the podcast so far.
Excellent.
Really well.
And it was out of so after any kind of events or weekenders, we're quite close with Kane and Danny. They're good friends of ours, and we would often get together and basically geek out and talk about dance, the event that's happening, or weekender, or the champs. We just basically break it down, what we liked about it, and we used to call it debrief and snacks, because we would sit on a hotel bed mostly, or a Pontin chalet, bring as much rubbish and cups of tea mostly, and literally just pig out and debrief about the event. So that's where it was kind of born.
We all do that, don't we? We finish the dance.
No, really? No. And we never talk about anybody when we're doing it. We've had the usual. It's quite a regular thing at Fleet at the moment. We finish the night with tea and bickies kind of thing, and then everyone's chatting away, and us, the crew, we're all chatting about how the night went and what we'll do next time, and But you're right. I think it's a natural progression, and it's brilliant because it's the only way to improve and to learn from it. And feedback's always welcome. We get loads of feedback on this, whether I like it or not. We get feedback. So.
This is amazing.
So good.
The first one I watched was when you interviewed Tim Stevens, and it blew me. Like the technology you've got. I mean, you must have spent hours putting all this stuff together.
A little bit.
I've
been on.
So you're becoming a tech genius, aren't you?
Yeah, I've during the lockdown. My old background is in IT, and this is back in the days of. No one's heard of digital equipment anymore. DEC, as it was known, and I was a massive fax cluster systems manager, so I had lots of background, but I gave it all up to deliver letters. So anyway, it's not about me. So I've had plenty to learn. So let's crack at one of the other things we want to ask you about. You're doing the debrief and the snacks, but the one that's really popular and is a big Canberra favourite is the Spunk.
The Spunk sets, Well, they've been amazing. We've done 2 so far. Lots of viewers, lots of shares, and again, it was a bit like you with what you're doing here. It took a whole weekend just to figure out how we could set the thing up so that we could, because Vince is in South East London, we're in Suffolk, to try and DJ live together from 2 different locations. It took a long time to put together.
It did.
But
we lost a lot of hours and a lot of I've never spoken to Vince so much. I've known him for a lot of years, and I think longer that weekend. And what's funny is that these guys are DJing live, and I've got the pleasure of hearing it come out of the speakers in the house, which is great. But I can't quite enjoy it because I'm almost the backseat producer, making sure that they're still live. How they sound, when you get that dreaded message from Facebook to say you've been naughty, you're going to get
Oh yeah.
You can go, the next one's going to be here, and share it. So it's so stressful, to just deliver that great experience. There's so much work that goes into it.
But it's good fun.
It's
really
such
good fun.
It's totally worth it.
I've watched a few of them, and I've watched both of them actually, and I'm really impressed. And as a DJ myself, is the issue we're all suffering with is how to stream the content we want without Facebook going nutty, because that's our biggest platform at the moment. So who knows, in the coming weeks, months, whatever, we'll just migrate slowly to YouTube, and then we'll do whatever we want. So that's the future. I have enough to do with this. I don't need to do that on top. But we've had some fantastic responses from that.
Oh, good.
And I'm sure people will be chipping in this evening, making tons of comments as they do, showing their love and appreciation for it, which is on. See, I can say it like this because from experience now, I know that's what's going to be happening. In the past, I just thought I better not say what I think might happen because it might all go the opposite direction. But yeah, no, we're pretty good with it. Anything else you want to cover in this bit?
Well, I was going to say before we pause for the end of part one, you guys have got a YouTube channel, haven't you? While we're on the subject of YouTube.
Yeah.
We have.
Ooh.
Yes. It's Ceroc, Kieran and Charlie. And there's loads of videos on there. There's weekenders,
Silk Academy event.
Yeah, so anyone can go on there and watch and if you like the routines, you can take that home and have a go. But yeah, there's loads of free videos on there, so check that out.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Excellent.
Right. Well, there you go. You've got a nice bit of information for you guys to deal with. Loads to look at, loads to download, loads to investigate, and that's what it's all about. And these guys have been around for quite some time now, and they know what they're doing. They're so well known on the circuit, and we're, as I said, we're proud and privileged to have them here. So we're going to have a little break now. We'll be back shortly in part 2. Obviously, the fun fact for the feature. There's too many F's in this flipping show, so we'll do the fun facts between shows. So we'll catch you later in part 2. Hi everybody, and welcome back. And Kieran on cue drops out a shot. That is so cool.
There he is.
We planned that, folks. We planned that. So,
Can you give it to order, Kieran? Can you just ready, go?
There we go. Yeah, I know it all looks like we're all in one big room right now, but that's how we wanted to create the illusion. So we're still working on it. Anyway, this is part 2. Welcome back, as we said. So obviously we've heard a lot about the dance in your pants, the funk, the debrief, the YouTube, all the Patreon, everything in part 1. Now we're going to get a little bit more in depth with Kieran and Charlie as them, really, if you like, and find out a little bit about their background. This is the juicy bit. So hopefully they won't give too much away, but we'll see. So. Our first question, Jules.
So, how did you guys both get into dancing?
First?
You go on.
Okay. So I think mine's quite a typical story, really. I've danced from a young age. So I started dancing as young as 3-4 years old, I think. Did ballroom and tap, the usual mum takes you along to dance class. And then I did ballroom and Latin, and my brother was my dance partner. And then he's like 3 years older than me. So as soon as he sort of hit teens, he was like, oh, I don't want to dance with my sister. And this is... So that was kind of a natural stop to ballroom and Latin. And then at the tender age of 16, I went along to Ceroc with my mum.
Oh.
And I'm from Suffolk. I'm from a place called Ipswich, small town. So when I went to my first venue, there was a bit of an age gap. I was evidently a lot younger than the rest of the class. But because I'd already danced for so many years, it didn't bother me at all. Ballroom and Latin always danced with different ages. So it didn't bother me. So yeah, I started when I was 16, and 17 years later, I'm still doing it. That's giving you away my age now, but yeah, it was great. I absolutely loved it from day one. So that's how I kind of got started. My mum.
Oh, that's lovely.
Okay.
I started with Debbie Atwood in Birmingham.
Wow.
And I went to a nightclub for a few beers. There's a little club in Worcester called Bossa Nova. And I had a few beers and got dragged up onto the dance floor and took part in my first Ceroc class. Just like, and went along with my mum a couple of times after that, and the rest is history. So yeah.
Wow.
So you both went with your mums then. That's lovely.
Oh. I only started going because my mum started to sing up-to-date music, and I was like, how do you know that track? Ceroc, I thought, I might give this a go. You know, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a scary thing when you realise how cool and hip your parents are. They'll be doing TikTok next, you watch. So.
Oh, yeah.
So can you guys remember who your first? No, you had Debbie Atwood, didn't you? Was Debbie your first teacher? And who was your first teacher, Charlie?
My first teacher was Steve Clarkson.
Steve Clarkson.
Who teaches in Norfolk mostly, but they used to travel down from Ipswich. And Simon Durbin.
Nettie and Simon.
Yeah, Nettie and Simon. Yeah. Steve still teaches.
Yeah.
And Simon and Nettie occasionally do, don't they?
I think so, like once a year or something. Yeah.
Once a year. Oh, that's nice. We might get them on the show as might get them on the show as a special, just once a year.
Like they met at Ceroc and got married and everything. They're a Ceroc story.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Shout out Nettie and Simon.
So,
how about you guys? How did you two start working together?
So we met. The first weekend that we met was Lux.
It was at Lux with David, and that was 2012. 2011.
Got to get it right. You got to remember that. It's the law. You've got to remember dates.
And what else happened after that? Oh, then I moved up to Ipswich from Birmingham, so I became a franchisee. With Ceroc Fusion with Anna Cook, and that was with Norfolk and Suffolk.
Yeah.
And when I moved up here to become franchisee, Charlie was one of the teachers, and it all fell into place.
But funny enough, he decided to buy a franchise where I lived. I don't know why. I mean,
hard to think.
Oh, that was sweet of you.
Dream, just to get another day, he decided to move down. Now I'm joking.
He's got moves. They've always got moves.
The whole long distance thing for quite some time.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was tough.
Birmingham to Ipswich is a long drive.
So actually thinking about that then, so when did you actually become teachers? Was that before the franchise or after the franchise?
Yeah, before. We were both already teachers in our own right, kind of in different areas before.
Oh, okay. And can you remember when you actually became a teacher?
Yeah, mine was 2008.
Yeah.
And mine was 2000 and it was either 11 or 12. I can't quite remember.
Well, it was before you met me. So
before
it must
I met you,
2010 or 11.
Yeah.
Probably the back end of 2010 it must have been there. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Good to
know.
And it's been bliss ever since.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. We never argue over creating routines, do we?
Oh God, we have completely different brains when it comes to creating stuff. So I'm more structural, like to make sure everything is in order and it works, whereas Kieran's definitely he has an idea, the creative side, and he's like, I've got this idea, a bit like the podcast and the spunk and all of the different things that we've been talking about. So I think they complement each other in the end, but the way that we go about, especially choreographing spotlights and stuff, those scary things we have to do at weekenders, they're very stressful because we just have very different ways of choreographing.
And actually picking up on the creativity side of things and coming up with ideas, you guys, if I got this right, and I'm fairly sure I have because we have chatted, the origins of Silk.
Yeah, we had a big hand in it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We worked with Tim for quite a long time. It took quite a long time to put it together, but basically we were involved with creating the syllabus that we today, and we were involved in creating the DVDs and a lot of it, but mainly the kind of dance content and the syllabus was kind of our domain. That's what we were involved with the most, really.
Where did that come from? I mean, did you have a background in sort of slower kind of music and dance styles beforehand?
It was quite short. We tried to think about the history as well, because you've done a podcast on it, haven't you? So we had to dig deep to remember what happened.
It was our passion, really. That dancing with slower music was kind of both of our passion. I think my kind of natural style of dancing, if you like, is a bit smoother than the norm. So I think it just kind of suited the way we both dance, and we were passionate about it as well. So that's how it evolved.
And we started off doing classes called like effortless style. That was our first, I suppose, if we look back on DVDs, that was sort of where it was born, when we did effortless style, which was more around routines that were smoother but without doing anything too flashy, which was kind of our natural. When we danced with each other, we kind of complemented each other's styles.
Yeah. And I think like the whole idea of Silk was to give, because people are scared to go in the slow room, aren't they?
Yeah,
like when weekenders and freestyles, people are always a bit nervous to go into that second room. So we wanted to give people confidence to get involved with something that we're passionate about, and that's this kind of slow music. So that was the whole kind of idea of it, really, and where it evolved from there to where we are today.
So you wanted to share the love.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can totally understand that. It reminds me back in the day when there used to be some blues classes, and I'll never forget one venue where I'm not going to give names away, but it's quite obvious, you'll work it out. So they did a normal class, beginner's class, and it was a blues class for the intermediate, and they demoed the routine.
Yeah.
And I was at the back of the room because I was taxiing, and basically half the women went, nope, not doing that, and walked off. And I was like, oh, crikey. And they were like, okay, we didn't expect that, because it was quite an intimate dance. And, you know, these newer people were like going, yes, it's nice to meet you, but I haven't been taken to dinner yet. So, and it was kind of that, and I could see it. I thought, oh, crikey, this has got to be challenging. And it was quite an impact. And I thought, blimey, that's hard it looks great, but to teach it's really hard, because those people taking those first steps are really, really always not so comfortable. And I found personally with Silk, you've got that, you've still got great connection, but it's not as intimate at times. You're not and close. You build up on it, which was lovely. So if you've not done Silk, give it a go.
I think as dancers that we're not used to the personal space concepts that most normal people have.
Yeah.
So when you've been dancing a long time, like being up close and personal with a complete stranger seems totally normal. Yeah. Whereas when you start dancing, the idea of like being so close to a complete stranger, it's like, no way, it's going to happen. So I think that the longer you've been dancing, the closer your dance styles to each other get, and eventually you end up doing blues and tango and all sorts, and nobody cares.
It's a progression.
Silk absolutely. Is a nice kind of way into that, because you've still got that fluidity, but you have, like Pete said, you've still got a little bit more distance between you as well.
Yes, I mean, Silk
nice halfway house.
Yeah, Silk isn't the sort of, you know, that kind of close old intimate thing. So we're still, like you just said, you've still got that, you know, the distance from each other, and it's just what we focus on more. Is with Silk is just kind of the technical side of it, and how to become a better leader, and how to
connection.
It's all
it's great.
And to your, you know, main room Ceroc stuff, it's just what we say with Silk is that the techniques are suited to the slower side of it, because you have more time. But yeah, it's all about the technique for us, and that's where we really geek out and for hours.
That's fine. Nothing with a bit of geekiness. No, not a problem at all. So, all that aside, that's all the dancing. That's lovely. So let's. What is it you guys do when you're not dancing?
Wow, we've got dogs, so we do a lot of stuff with them. I mean, even today we've been on a 5-mile bike ride with them both. I
didn't know dogs could ride bikes.
Yeah, I think they're very well trained.
Okay, cool.
I saw a little dog buggy that you guys have.
Oh yeah, so I've recently bought, because we have a big dog and a very little dog, and when we're doing the bike rides, the big dog is like trotting along, she's not really at full pace, whereas the little one is going like a clappers. So when we're on road, or when I think she just looks a bit knackered, I've bought a basket.
So cute.
Friendly,
really
so
cute.
Just clip her in and she's happy as Larry in there. It's great.
But I love the outdoors, so we live quite rural, so I love getting out into the countryside and like looking at birds and going like walking down the river. I'm a real kind of country person, if you like. I love it.
When I first met Kieran, being a city boy living in Birmingham, I introduced him to the countryside, and he was a bit like, "What on earth is all this about?" But now I think he loves it more than me.
I do, yeah. So that's what I love doing, especially where we live.
Yeah.
And you're a bit more outgoing, aren't you?
Yeah, I like to socialise, see friends, family. Yeah, I think I'm more of the I like human interaction.
And she likes cocktails that we saw on your show the other week.
Oh yeah, I love a cocktail.
Oh yes. Yes. Oh, that'll be the Tim. That was the Medfest homage. Hey. Yeah, I'm just keeping simple today. we did jokingly talk about a future show where, if you've seen the show, I have a bad habit of saying so quite a bit, and we've turned it into a bit of a drinking game. So we jokingly chatted off air, me, Jules, and Lisa, about doing a show where I did drink, and every time I said show, and I said we wouldn't get through half the show.
It'd be a complete disaster.
If
So
we-
maybe,
if we-
maybe not.
If we run out of ideas, it's still there. So,
If we're still doing this at Christmas, if we're not back on the dance floor, then I think we're going to need to
yeah,
we're going to need to drink our way through that one.
Excellent. Oh, brilliant.
So just before we move on to the quick fire, tell me a little bit about the doggy daycare.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about
Yeah.
other jobs. So I work full time as a digital product owner. Not many people know what on earth that is, but essentially I work with a techie team and a design team, and my role in an energy company is basically to deliver new IT projects and convert stuff from offline into digital journeys. In a nutshell. So I've been doing that for over 10 years now. So that's kind of my norm, 9 to 5. And then we both run, I suppose I part own, but Kieran runs Doggy Daycare.
Yeah, we run a doggy daycare centre, basically a nursery for dogs.
Yeah, you heard it right.
So people can drop their dog off in the morning, pick it up at night time, tired out, exercise, socialised, and we do that Monday to Friday. So
I so want your job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a really good job. You see all sorts come through, and we have puppy parties bi-monthly.
Oh, you're killing me.
My absolute element. Saturday, 2 hours, surrounded by puppies. It is the best.
Good fun.
So you see now, Jules thinking, if they turn this into a franchise, that's my future.
I'm there.
Exactly.
My husband might leave me, but I'm there.
Yeah, and I'll need a new host because I'll never see her again if that was the case. It's bad. I've been down to Jules's house, and she's got 2 great dogs, and yeah, they kind of rule.
They do.
They always do.
I've got to.
Yeah.
Well, they do that. We've also got 3 cats, and actually they rule.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. I have one, and she's in charge.
Yeah. Same with that.
Blimey. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm pet free right now. So.
You are the pet, aren't you, love?
And on that note, I'm supposed to take the mick out of the guest. You're not supposed to take the mick out of me. That's the agreement. Right, so we are coming up to that time now where we're going to be doing the quickfire in a second, but at the end of the quickfire, we are going to ask Kieran and Charlie to reveal their fun facts, so prepare for that. So the quickfire's coming up. I think they know how this goes. They have no idea what the questions are going to be. They're either ors. We're going to do ladies first, so we'll ask Charlie for her answer, and then Kieran for his answer to the same question, and we'll go like that. Make sense? Cool.
Yes.
Yep.
Right then,
Ready.
Jules, do you want to go first or second?
I'm going to go first.
Okay.
So I think this one's going to be an easy one. Silk or Ceroc?
Silk.
Dance with a stranger or fixed partner? Oh, thinking about it.
Dance with a stranger.
Dance with a stranger.
Cool.
Another easy one, I think, this one. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Don't tell your cat.
Yeah. Okay. Bit of a random one, this. Footloose or Dirty Dancing?
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty dancing.
Have you ever watched?
So we knew that answer was coming.
You're agreeing on everything so far.
This is usually the tricky one.
Southport or Canberra?
Amber.
Yeah.
Oh, we got there in the end.
Oh, we're going to have dissension in the ranks for a minute.
It's purely the journey.
Yeah.
Living in Ipswich, it takes like 7 hours.
Yeah, it's a long old drive, yeah.
It's quite interesting is that I think you're right, is those that who are say, easily are based nearer, like the Southport, and the usually one that does it for them is the driving. It's like for everyone down here, Canberra's a breeze, Canberra's a breeze. Breeze is the other way. We might have to put that one in. We might throw future guests, and they'll be thinking, "Oh, I'm ready for the Southport Canberra," and we go breeze or swish, just to confuse them.
Let's give you a bonus one then. Let's give you a bonus one.
Ooh.
Breeze or Canberra?
Oh. Now they're thinking.
You first.
Breeze or Canberra? See, I'm rubbish with the names.
Breeze is the one in
Western.
The Supermare, isn't it?
Oh, of course. Ooh. That is tough.
I'd still go Canberra, I think.
Yeah.
You still go Canberra?
Yeah, I would.
Because you've got the Blues champs at Breeze, haven't you?
Yeah. That's what I'm
I think
thinking.
Canberra's a solid one for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Canberra feels a bit like home.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It feels like it's, it feels a bit more like home, whereas Southport and Breeze feel like I'm travelling away. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all about Canberra.
Yeah.
I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So there we go. Our quickish fire round. We started really slick with these quick fires, and then we started just going, "Oh, really?" And before we knew it, they were turning into like 20 minutes of questions. So we are coming to that time, but before we give our thanks to Kieran and Charlie, they're now going to reveal their fun fact. So again, ladies first. Charlie, what is your fun fact?
So my fun fact is that I once raced the 100-metre sprint against Linford Christie's niece and beat her and won the race.
Yes!
I mean, I don't know whether Linford Christie trained her or whatever. I in my mind think that he did, and therefore it makes it more...
Take it.
More of an achievement that way, yeah.
Take it. And Kieran?
My one is that I once auditioned for a lead role in a Hollywood movie and was very close to getting the part.
Oh, and what was that movie? Am I allowed to know?
That was I was 14 at the time. And that was, do you remember when they re-released Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe?
Yeah.
In the 90s? Yeah, I went for the lead role in that, and my mum and dad had meetings with the directors about moving to New Zealand and had to be out of school. And I think I was in the last 15, I think. So I auditioned with the director and everything. It was all, we had to go to London. Yeah, it was.
I think you just turned out to be a bit too brummy, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I was just this working class kid from Birmingham, so
You can just say, "All right, Aslan, how you doing, Aslan?" I'm sorry, you were
I
robbed.
want to see that version.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a future project right there. I hope there's. Do you know what? If there's audition tapes, they've got to be dug out.
Oh.
There you go. There probably is.
He's sweating now. He's sweating.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Hey, we'd have you back for that. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's been a joy and a privilege to work with these guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you Kieran and Charlie. Yay! We do our own sound effects here. I'm not that good yet.